welcome everyone who is new to this webinar. And just a short explanation. These webinars are to help you to build your business and to grow as a person. Comes from personal development. 2 words, person and development. So if you're new, these are held every Sunday and you get them for free. People pay thousands of dollars to attend webinars like this, and you get the information because you're part of the program. And for those who are not new, I know you don't have to agree with me on anything. These are just suggestions. These are principles which makes them more valuable because the principle doesn't change. Facts change all the time. Principles never change. And I know there are people out there who don't agree, but that's because they're on another level and maybe they're not open to change their mindset. That's the biggest problem people have, something called cognitive dissonance. That means that people have a truth which is programmed since birth, and it's really hard to change that truth. So when new information pops up, they will dismiss that new information because they already know the truth. That is what makes most people unsuccessful, because the rule number 1 is this: whatever you have today, whatever you own, wherever you live, whatever you do, what car you drive, what money in your bank account you have, is your thinking up until today. So if you want something new, then you have to start changing the way you think. That takes time. So if you're not open for new information, you will keep what you have today. You will have nothing new. And that's the biggest problem where people have. So that's the first lesson today. Open your mind. Have an open mind. Doesn't mean you have to agree on anything, but you can have an open mind, which means that you can say to yourself, okay, I'm not totally understand this, but I will have an open mind and, see if it grows on me, the information. So that's a great lesson I learned from my mentor. He said, if you hear something, you can't understand everything at once. Pick the golden nuggets. Bring them home. Why should you bring the garbage home that you don't understand? Okay, so you see here on the slide, what we are today, like I open up this webinar, is a result of your actions up until today. And your actions is a result of your thinking. So you see, we will go through it here later in this webinar, but that's how it works. An action doesn't come by itself. So, first you have to think. You have a brain. We all have a brain, and it's meant to be used. And the brain is like a muscle. The more we use it, the more we go into, philosophy, which is the word means what you think about most of the day. So your life philosophy, you can change that. You don't have to, you don't get born and then you stay on one course and then you die. That's the beauty of life, that you have freedom of choice, freedom of choose whatever you want to choose. So that's a great thing with creation. The Creator gave us this enormous potential. So whatever you wish to be is in your actions right now, today, because you can't change something tomorrow or yesterday. You got to change it today. So that's why, You have to act now. So I talk about this a lot of times in these webinars, that you got to have a pen and paper. Take notes. The note takers are the planters, and the success is reserved for the planters. That's a suggestion. You don't have to do it. But, there's a suggestion to pull the string when you jump a parachute as well. Only suggestion. So, and this is important because we're here because this webinar is more for, leadership, to become a leader. Not everyone will get it. That's fine. I understand. It's not for top leaders. It's for everyone, of course. But it's about becoming a leader. So it's about leadership because you are leading someone. You are a leader in your family, for your kids, for, your little team, your group, or yourself. And leadership cannot be given and cannot be taken away. So it's got to be earned. And what does that mean? It means that people who put in some action and put in some effort and who educate themselves to acquire knowledge and take that knowledge into action will become leaders. So that's the way you earn it. You do it by taking action. When you lose it, it's when you stop doing those things. Because this is how it works. You don't acquire something and then, that's it. It's constant change. The universe is in constant change. The planets are moving. Everything is in movement. If you take an atom and you cut it into pieces, what's inside the atom? Well, there's electrons and stuff that's moving. Everything is moving. Nothing stands still. So, and that's what people are most afraid of, change, which is the constant thing in the universe. So that's a lesson. I hope you took a note of that. Why fear is number one success. And this theme today is go with the flow. But there's a flow where you can lock out fear, where you can be fearless. And why is fear the number one success killer? I will show you. So this is how it works. We've done some webinars that we talked about the mindset of a leader, the mindset of successful people. And this is how it works. Very simple. You are the person, I'm the person, everyone who's on this webinar are the person who making a choice. Every day we have to make a choice. What happens is that we get programmed of other people who put stuff inside our mind that are not true. So we make bad choices. So we make fear-based choices because they tell us, oh, stay away from that, don't try that, or don't do that, or, that's dangerous, so that's going to be hard, and, all those kinds of stuff that people tell you. That's why you need to hang around with winners, because winners, they never give you advice of going into fear, because winners are fearless. But every day we make choices. So this is very deep. This is deep, but it's simple. It's simple, but it's not easy. Okay? You know the difference? So this takes discipline and training and knowledge and wisdom. So every day we are confronted by choices. Even though you're not given a choice, you're making a choice. So doing nothing is also a choice. What do you think that end up on the left side or the right side? Fear side, left side. Doing nothing is also a choice, which means result in nothing, because doing nothing will result in nothing. Of course, there's sometimes you have to, be a bystander, and maybe you don't take action immediately. I'm not, this is not black or white, but I mean, in general. So we're making those choices, and we make those choices out of the information that we got up until today. Do you see how it works? So yesterday you made those choices with the information you got up until yesterday, and last month, and last year, and so on. So if you've been with me for a while, you learned a couple of things. Hopefully, or not. I don't know. Maybe you disagree with everything I said. That's fine, because this is not a cult, or this is not religion. These are principles, but they come from somewhere. They come from one source. Anyway, so you make those choices out of the information that you got up until that choice making moment. Okay, and then you make a choice. And some people, why it doesn't work for them is because they can make one great choice, and then they go back and need to make another one, and they go back to fear. And the beauty is that you get a new chance, because there are new choices to make. So there's not the end of the road if you went into fear. So you don't have to go into the blame game and blame yourself or someone else, because that's just make a new choice. Isn't that beautiful how it works? So even if I make bad choices yesterday, I get a new chance today. That's the meaning of, wow, it's a new day of new opportunities, because the Creator made these compartments, which I will come back to later, of 24-hour compartments. So you can't go into tomorrow, and you can't go into yesterday. If we could, that would be disaster, because it will be chaos. So we have this 24 hours, whereas there's new opportunities. Whatever happened yesterday have no bearing. It's a result and a consequence. Yes, it is. But then you have to make a new course, make a new choice. Okay. Another thing that I mentioned is, which is a great thing to have in mind, is that a plane is out of course approximately 95% of the time. That's why you have an autopilot to correct the course, like, So when you're up in the plane, you fly in from let's say South Africa to London. That plane is out of course 95% of the time. So it corrects the course. Maybe you fly have to correct it, then a couple of miles, then have to correct it, because there's wind and there's everything that can interfere with flying. Life is almost the same. We're out of course, and we have to correct it. We have to make the choices. Wow, this is turning into a great webinar. Can you feel it? So what have this to do with anything? Well, when you're making those choices, it has to do with your comfort zone, because your comfort zone is your information. So the people who make fear choices, they have a small comfort zone. They're not comfortable with doing stuff or being outside. They feel uncomfortable. They feel scared. Oh, what's going on? And that's the trick. That's what we need to overcome. We can do that by action, by prayer, or we can meditate, or we can get strength from education, or we can stay around winners, and we can get some energy attending these webinars, and all kinds of positive things to get that kick in the back in our behind, to move, to get out of the comfort zone. And you remember I talked about getting out of the comfort zone. The best way is to set goals. So you don't care about the zone, you care about moving out of the zone, because of the goals. But it's important. Comfort zone has everything to do with the information that you have up until today. Make a note. My information up until today. Today, after this webinar, you have new information. You have more information. Some of you will make a breakthrough today just because of this webinar. You will make a breakthrough. And this has also to do with the choices. But what happens is, if we don't use discipline to get out of the comfort zone and to make the love choices, the choices of fight and love, this is really great, because this is 4 P's that shows this is actually time management. I just will show you this because it ties into the comfort zone and to the choices that we make and to the programming that we have, because these are the 4 blocks, simple way to put it. So we have time, we have 24 hours, and in the first block, there's things that is not important, but it's urgent. And in the second block, there's things that are important and urgent. And in the third block, there are things that are important, but not urgent. And in the last block, there are things that are not important and not urgent. Okay, so let me clarify. So, not important, but urgent. Let's say your phone is ringing, it's irritating you. That's kind of urgent, but it's not important. Well, it could be an important call, of course, but I mean, it's not important in the sense of what you're just doing. Or, something similar. Your coffee, your teapot is whistling because the tea is ready. It's irritating you and the whole family and everyone around, so it's urgent to take that off, but it's not important. Then you go to the next block, important, and what could be important and urgent? Well, could be you have to respond to one of your team members that sent you an email about an issue. Important and urgent. You need to take care of that. Bam, 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 bam. And third block, important but not urgent. What could that be? Well, that could be your name. That's not like super urgent. You can, your goal setting, you writing down more goals, or reading a book, or attending this webinar. It's not urgent because it comes every Sunday, but it's important. And then I have not important, not urgent. What is that? Well, that's hanging out with the beer drinking buddies, or watching TV, or stuff like that. It's not important and it's not even urgent. So what 2 blocks should you be in? Yes, you're right. 2 and 3. 1 and 4, you can, if you want to be successful, almost stop those 2 blocks. Do 10%, 5% of those blocks, and 95% in the 2 and 3. What does this have to do with anything? Because we make choices which block to be in because of our information up until today. So this ties in with your comfort zone. People who stay in the comfort zone never leaves it. They spend a lot of time in block 4 and 1, never in block 2 and 3. So they never will experience what it is to have success. So to leave the comfort zone, to be uncomfortable, to be scared, to be outside where all the change is, you need to be in block 2 and 3. But they make the choices not to. So they even get scared of this webinar because it's cognitive dissonance, like, wow, what is this? I don't get it. And then this is a lifetime thing. Some people start out good, but they don't finish. So you follow me now? You see that this is actually some serious good stuff here. Okay, So we make our choices based out of the information we got up until today. So if we want to become successful, we have to do something else because we need to change. Okay, and and this is what it's all about. You got to be before you can do. You got to do before you can have, and you got to have before you can give. And giving is the ultimate thing in life. At least what I believe, at least what I think. And there are some people that don't understand my message and they think that I'm this or that. I got some criticism for posting something, on social media, and the people who criticize it, they don't get it because my post was positive because it was against something evil and disgusting. But we don't bring that up here. But that's how people work. You're on the level that you are. You're not worse than anyone else. It's just another level. And to go to the next level, you need some new information and you need an open mind. You need to say, okay, I don't get it. I don't buy, I'm not, totally agree with Peter Jacobson, but I'm willing to let his information grow. Oh, it's not my information, it's everyone's information, but I'm the messenger. So you got to be before you can do. And you got to do before you can have. And you got to have before you can give. So, and this is so important. Since you can't give what you don't have, neither in knowledge or empiric knowledge, which is, someone has done and something in life. I'm sitting here because I built massive organizations, how to build an organization. So you don't take advice from someone who hasn't empiric knowledge or can't take you to the next level. And I'm not here to criticize or to put someone, I'm here to open up. I'm here to make you more, to increase your life, to increase your bank account if that's what you want, because that's not the ultimate goal. I know you take it. It's fine. It's good. It's because you can do a lot of things with money, but you don't have it as the ultimate goal because your ultimate goal is something else. But anyway, so since you can't give what you don't have, how can you be empathetic when you don't have anything? Because empathy is not as sympathy. Sympathy, you can sympathize with anyone. It's like, yeah, I agree. Yeah, they're terrible people. I support you. But someone with knowledge, he doesn't sympathize. He empathizes. He said, I understand how you feel right now because I've been through the same thing, and this is what you do. So empathy has knowledge. Sympathy doesn't need any knowledge. That's why the world is so terrible, because there's people out in the world who all they do is sympathize, and they build politics, and they build religions, and they build anything, out of that. So empathy comes from the experience of doing something, and then you can help someone else. You see? And just to make anything clear, I'm not against organized religion. I'm just saying there are some false teachings out there where people get screwed. Because the leaders doesn't have any empiric knowledge. So let's go forward here. So this is important. You remember we talked about, go back now to making a choice, left or right. Fight, love, or fear and flee, okay? So why people actually end up in being not successful, ending up in Maslow's 2 bottom levels, and they have a miserable life, and they die miserable. They die with all the knowledge in them because everyone has something to offer. Everyone has something. Everyone has a mission. Everyone is here to do something. Everyone is not here to change the whole world, but you can change the world for one people, for one guy, for one person. At least take care of your family. Help them understand what it's all about, you know? So this is how it works. When people, because you're going to ask the question, why do people make those fear-based decisions? Well, it's because of the programming, but it's also because of the choice in the now. You have a choice. That's where discipline comes in. So you're in the now, you're going to make a choice, and these are the compartments I talked about earlier. The now is 24 hours, and there was a present. There's a present now, and then there was a 24 hours yesterday, and there's 24 hours in the future. But we can't be in those. We got to be here and now. That's where the change takes place. But most people, they tend to be in the future or in the past. You know, to be in the past will make you bitter, because you will think about the things that you didn't do or should do, or and that's neurotic. You can't change the past. You can learn from the past. You can learn not to do the same mistakes. But then again, you need to take action, because how can you learn anything if you don't take action? Because 95% of your decision making is in your subconscious. That's where we change. We program ourselves with new, great information. That's what I'm stressing. Listening to good stuff, reading great books. When I started out many, many, many years ago, I started out reading Think and Grow Rich, of course, because it's a classic, because it gives you the basic principles of stuff that you never heard of before. There's another great book called The Magic of Thinking Big. Great book. And there's many books that are great, but all those books are written by people who actually did something. There's Norman Vincent Peale, The Power of Positive Thinking. Norman Vincent Peale. There's many other books of Napoleon Hill and so on. So you got to stay on course, stay in the program of change. And since your brain is attacked day and night by information, there's information flow. People waste their life in front of a screen. You can use the screen. We're in the technology, yes, we use but you should make it useful. You should use it so it doesn't use you. Okay, there you got another great one. So this is how it works. You're in the now, but then you go back to yesterday's worries. And yesterday's worries will not help you. But most people, that's what they do. They dwell on the things they don't want, and that's what they get. Wow. I would take note of that one. They dwell on the things they don't want, and that's what they get. So what you need to do is you need to, oops, I'm here. Yeah, so this is how it works. Had to go back to, I pushed too many slides. So, and that is what we call the core belief system. That's what we really think. The 5% is the other. That's the now we're in. So you need to change the information flow. Go with the flow. You need to change the information flow in your now. That's when you change. So this is how it works. Every day we wake up, we get a thought. You know what kind of thoughts we get? The one we planted yesterday, or someone else's planted in us. So if you listen to this webinar again and again and again, you can take the recordings and listen to it. Ask your upline if you can get the recording. Then you can listen to it again and again and again. What happens? It will get into your subconscious mind, and you will have more success. Definitely. I'm here to make some increase in your life. So you have a thought, a problem occurs. This is what happens. You get a feeling of the problem, which is not good. You get like, oh no, something happens. And that feeling creates the choice. You see, there's a red thread. This webinar is today. Are you following now? Go back to the slide where you're standing there. You're going to make a choice of fight and love or flee and fear. And the problem would make a feeling, would make a choice. You go into fear and you make the wrong choice. Wow, this is revelating. So instead of that, this is how we do it. We wake up in the morning, we have a goal plan, we know where we're going, we have a plan for today. Problem occurs. For us who are on a program change, we get a feeling, maybe it's bad. If it's bad, we change that feeling with a new thought. What could that new thought be? That could be your goals. That could be your next level. That could be talking to someone that has done it, get some advice. That could be, anything. But that new thought will create new results. So you make that love and fight choice, and you're on course again. You're like that plane who were out of course, and now you're on course. Wow, this is good. I hope there's a lot of people who get this, because this is like a $10,000 training. So your habits is always related to your core belief system. So you do what you have inside of you. All the thoughts up until today, all the things that you learned. Did you also see that when you were little, people told you stuff that were not true? Did you go like, wow, my mom told me that, but that's not correct? You learned a new truth. That's how it works. Or someone at work told you something and you go like, okay, and then later it's like, what? What's going on here? So that's life. That's how it works, how to change. And action always beats intention. So maybe you don't dare to make that choice. Maybe you're standing there, you don't know what to do. Take action. Because when you take action, you break the fear spell. Action is the great fear killer that kills all the fear, because fear is just a mindset. It's something in your mind that is not true. The old, which is real good. False evidence appear real. There's something false, some false information, but it looks very real. And it creates a feeling, a bad feeling, which makes you make the wrong choice. So that's why you need to be here on these Sunday school webinars. But this was a great webinar today. I'm so fired up. I hope the sound is good, so, no problems. Because what we need to do, we need to use all the things that we have. We need to use all the tools that we have. We need to use them. We need to use them. We need to go the extra mile. In what do you say? In everything. Hey guys, it's been an amazing webinar, and I hope you got something, because I got something out of this. I was training and I got something out of it, and that's the way it works. You give and you get. Guys, stay prosperous out there, be joyous, happy, and most of it free. And I will see you next Sunday.